Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Tuesday, it's July 29th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. Okay, if you saw the video was up and then it disappeared and put it back up, I apologize. Um, but I thought I'd pause the video and ended up not pausing it, and so I recorded my conversation with my doctor, and then when I started the video back, I actually paused it that time, and I didn't get any of the end of the video, so I don't know what's wrong with my mouse. It does that sometimes, and I've learned to double check, pause, and today I was in a hurry and just didn't do it. So some of you get to listen to this video twice, but there were only a couple of trades left here, and so, but I still felt like I wanted to add them on and remove my personal stuff out of the video. So I just deleted that video, and that way you don't have to listen to me and my conversation with my doctor about my prescriptions and stuff like that. So some of it was it's nothing that I really care about, but it is personal information between me and my doctor. So I just deleted it, and I want to get these trades in here. So anyway, hope you enjoy the rest of the video. And a quick look at our daily chart. You can see we finally closed down. Looks like we had some topping action here, and we've made a second day of trending lower. Here we only closed like a quarter, I think one tick lower here, if I remember right, one or two ticks. It wasn't much, but we finally got a lower close here. Even though we have some negative days here, we still closed higher. Here we might have closed slightly lower, but nothing to really. That was just breaking out of that range, but we were definitely well overbought up here, so it was time for a correction. So a little bit of a correction today, definitely a down day. Looked like it was going to be another range day, but prices finally broke lower. So that's what it looks like. Close to the lows for the day. That's a good look at it on the daily chart. Let's flip over to the 2,000 tick chart and take a look, and we'll go through the trades. There's not many trades at all today. I'll pre-warn you. A lot of sitting around and waiting for nothing. But let's flip over there and take a look. Okay, here's our 2,000 tick chart. And we did have some news at 9 o'clock. I marked that area out. Didn't last long. You could trade pretty quickly after that, although there weren't really any setups there. It was a little further down in the chart and in the day before you could actually found a decent trade. There was one trade right out of the gate that was a pretty nice trade this morning. And you can see we had this little trend up here, and you had a little close outside to move to a new high, and it gave you a second entry short right here, plus it gave you a triple test. The signal bar was not perfect, but I still think it was good enough on a triple test and a second entry short with obvious resistance up here. I like that one. And if you caught that one trade, that might have been all you needed today if you caught a runner with it. And depending on how you play it, you probably could have caught a runner as well. But prices dropped on down, and there was a nice second entry here, but it was 2 seconds before that news. And I mean, job openings, that's not a huge market mover that surprises a lot of people. And you can see the price action played out pretty well. This lower high happened at right at the news. So this was like 3 minutes prior. So I don't know. I didn't mark it because it's in that news item, but honestly, I might take that trade, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be afraid to take that trade. If you were trading then, just first time you probably take it, then there would be some. But prices dropped down and just kind of went sideways after that. There's a lower high second entry here in this range, but you got to play range rules on this, and it's really tight right there. I don't think there's enough room to get out, and so you just can't take that trade. It looks like it would have worked. It looks like it went far enough. If you took it, your chart could be slightly different, and you have a slightly different range than me. Because I try to use the closes where you get the most touches and get the most closes. And so that's kind of an art. And so, maybe you played it down here where that close happened, because you still get a bunch of touches and closes. If you did, you got room to get out. So that's a maybe. I didn't mark it because it wasn't enough room in my range, and I felt it was just too tight. So, but if you took it, it worked. And I mean, you could have. I mean, it went a whole lot lower eventually, but you might have had to ride some of this back out if it hadn't have pushed a little bit further there. So anyway, there was another second entry short here. Notice that low, and you get a first entry, and then the next bar is an inside bar, so that's a second entry, but there's no setup there. You can't really go short. And then you get another lower high here. Again, no setup, and then it just falls right through that support on that range and drops down here. And then you're chopping another range, chopping sideways, and it breaks out. So that's probably going to fail. You're playing range rules here. It is a second entry, but you don't really count second entries when you get in tight ranges like that because you'll get chopped to pieces. But on a breakout like that with a nice signal bar, I want to mark that red because I'd probably take that right at the EMA like that. But you really need to wait on a lower high and you don't get one. So it drops on down, and then next thing you know, it pulls back, hits the EMA, and we're off to the races down. And unfortunately, there's just no setups down through here. They're all first entries, not very good signal bars. It's a nice move down, but just no chance to really enter it. So, but then we get notice we got two legs back to the EMA and the midline again, and we'd already tested the midline a couple times, so that's like a triple test on that midline. And the reason I like this, it's like a 4-tick signal bar, so it's very low risk, and it's probably going to act like a second entry and be at least good for a scalp, even if it goes higher here. And so I marked it green. It's a little more, I mean, most of you is probably a little more advanced for most traders because it's not a perfect second entry because really by the counts, it's a first entry because we made a new low, but there's still clearly two legs back to the EMA there. And so it looks like two legs back to me in a second entry, and the fact that that signal bar is bearish and so small, I mean, it's like 4 ticks. You can't hardly, you just don't, you don't get a lot of trades with that lower risk. So ideally, you'd wait on a lower high, which came here, but then it looks congested, and you got 3-bar matching lows, so you just can't go short out of that. And you don't want to be looking for a long down here, even though it's bouncing off the low end. We clearly get two legs back, and there's a second entry there, but you can't go short yet there. Signal bar doesn't qualify anyway. But you get a close outside, a couple of legs to a new high, and notice this little trap. It broke higher first and turned down. I like entering that on the trap, going short 1 tick below that. And that's more advanced. Most of you need to wait for this to close, and even then, there's still enough room back to the EMA that you probably want to take that trade. Normally, I'd probably mark this green on the engulfing bar, but I think you could take it either way, so I marked it red. This is all two sideways. Then we're just working sideways again. Failed break out the lows, failed break out the highs, but no setups. We do run down to a new low here and reverse. Notice you're coming down, close outside. We actually made a new low here, so you ended up getting another leg down. It's tempting to go long there, but there's no setup. Nothing there. It runs all the way up, and you get a first entry right there, and there's a second entry right here. The problem is it's right into the lows of the range. Now, it might push on through, but it might not. So I just don't think you can go short there. Then you get another test here with a big bar, but again, it all looks congested. But it finally makes another low and then tries to go higher again. Now this is like a new high up here. So this is a first entry, second entry failure at a reversal point. You're expecting a possible reversal to go short again. And so I'm trading that as a reversal. And so the signal bar does not matter there. And it turns out you basically trapped people right there. And you can see, boom, they all had to exit. And just first entry, and then you're rallying again. Close outside, tried to make a new high, and you end up making a triple test across there with a very nice signal bar. I like going short right there. But then prices dropped on down, rallied back, and notice how we got two legs back, and there's a close outside here and a new high, and you've got this range type setup now, and so you're playing range rules. It's also a second entry short, and this short-term channel is played out, so I like that one. And then there's one more here, should have an arrow here, and you can see it's a first entry, another close outside and the new high, and then a second entry short again. So I like both. I like all three of those. So we had a little pickup here at the end, and then that took us into 230. So anyway, that's the way I saw it today. And if you already watched part of this video, I apologize for you having to come back and watch it again. But I screwed up and thought I'd hit pause. I had a phone call from my doctor come in, and I thought I'd hit pause, and I recorded that, and I didn't realize it till I'd uploaded it. So I pulled that video, deleted that phone call, and then added the rest of these trades in here. There's only two more trades, but something goes on with my mouse every now. I think I pause it, and it doesn't pause it, and then when I go back to restart it, I actually pause it, and so I recorded something I didn't want to record, and then don't record what I want to record, and it's just crazy for me lately. It seems like it's happening a lot. So, but anyway, there it is. Hope you had a good trading day. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Apologize for the mix-up and if you had to watch some of this video twice. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.